So I wanted everybody to, I mean, of course, everybody knows about that Air India flight that just crashed. And one guy walked away with just a few scratches. And it always feels like an extraordinary miracle, but he just didn't have the karma to die that day, even against the most extraordinary odds. Like the plane exploded in a conflagration of flames. The tail is stuck in a two-story building and it broke apart, and everybody else died, including some people on the ground. And this guy just walks away, and he's like even saying to his family, I have no idea how I didn't die in that. And such an extreme example of a person, a person's karma not being, I mean, just did not have the karma to die that day. Just like that young nun that I think I told you all about a little while ago that was in a helicopter crash in Nepal. And she landed, everybody else was killed. She was kind of thrown clear. Her phone just happened to fall next to her, so she was able to call her father, who was able to then figure out where she was. She was in the middle of a forest in a mountain. They would never have found her if she hadn't had her phone with her. I think she may have broken her back and a few bones, but she also didn't have the karma to die that day, but everybody else did. So it's just it's so curious to me because I looked at that and I thought there's no one walked away from that. And then I saw on the news this video of this guy just walking away with his phone in his hand. I'm just like, this is a completely bizarre. And, he's being kept in hospital under observation, but he just has a few scratches on his face. And he might be a little bit sore. It was probably a rough landing. But I think he got thrown. He doesn't know actually what happened, but he thinks he got thrown free from the aircraft before it burst into flames. But anyway, I just wanted to, if you hadn't already been thinking about it from the Dharma perspective, that's kind of how you would try and make sense of that. Because some people, they die in the night or they wake up in the morning and they just get like, like a prick of a thorn from a rose and they're dead by the afternoon because they get sepsis or something like that. And then this guy, that's just the most violent accident you could probably imagine. And he just walked away from walk. And he was a little bit, you could see in the videos, a little bit out of it, but why wouldn't you be after that? But anyway, it's extraordinary. And he was traveling with his brother and his cousin, and they were in a different part of the plane. And of course, they didn't survive. And neither did the person right next to him. So he was in economy, I think. And this he was here, the person next to him there died. So I mean, it's just the whole thing's interesting. Anyway, let's get on to our Vajrasattva and welcome everybody. So settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Hang on a second. I'm I'm updating my website, so I've been working on that. So I've got all these documents open. Hang on a second. All right. And have both feet flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. Your shoulders align with your hips and your ears aligned with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. And imagine you're just lengthening your spine, putting some space in between the vertebrae. And a little bit of length in the back of the neck, which means your chin will be a little bit down, but not too far down. But what I'm trying to avoid is those times where the chin just kind of goes like this. It creates constriction in the back of the neck. Apparently, that creates agitation in the mind. So just going to the crown of the head now and relaxing, releasing any tension in the scalp, and then just allowing the face to soften. And allow your shoulders and your shoulder blades to drop down and relax your throat, your chest and your belly and all of your limbs. Bring your awareness to your breath. Just notice the sensations of the breath as you inhale and exhale. And be aware of any external sensory information like sound. And just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. So for me here, for example, there are certain sounds that I expect at this time of night now, with the light the way it is. So I'm just trying to notice those sounds and just allow them. But you may notice for yourself, the minute you hear a sound, your mind goes off towards it. So try not to have the mind go and investigate. Just allow it to be still. And then notice, check in with yourself this evening. How are you going? What's going on for you? What's in your mind? Try to put some space in between your thoughts. Be curious about what's in there. And then bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, the ones you don't like, knowing that they could change place, these relationships at any time. And they're all equal. They all want to be happy. They're just like you and me, regardless of how you think about anybody. They don't want to suffer. And everybody has this unbelievable capacity for a Buddha mind. I would think we'd do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all sentient beings. And then maybe we just spare a thought for those 200 odd people who were, I think it's 242 now, who died today. And then, of course, that number gets larger as you think about all their friends and their family, their work colleagues. So just keeping that group of people in mind. And we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind so we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on the logic of karma, and we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so, having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we will experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance, and we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not needing Buddha necessarily so we're not looking for someone to forgive us. We're looking for methods that we can use as medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. He has this beautiful, radiant face, and his eyes are long. They're shaped like lotus petals, so they're long in that way, and they're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all of those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two: infinite wisdom, infinite compassion, enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings. So this is the second little section under reliance. First was refuge. This is developing compassion. So we think about people we've harmed and those who have harmed us and have a wish for them to be free from suffering. Then we come to the power of remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sutokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a hum pe, vajrasattva samaya manupalaya, vajrasattva dina patita, Jida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sabazidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahumpe, ambhadrasapa samayam manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, drida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita trida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva hum pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And now our speech, and imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. And this time forces up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and quite forcefully and disappears into space, not one atom left. So you imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra again. Om Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sitam Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasapa Samayam Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me, sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe, vajrasapa samaya manupalaya, vajrasapa dina patita, drida meboa, situkaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita drida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita drida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva ahum pe Vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita drida meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself. And next is the purification of our mind. And imagine Vajrasattva now very compassionately sending powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So this happens as instantly as when you walk into a room that's pitch black and you flick on the switch and the light comes. So the light comes from Vajrasattva's heart, and instantaneously all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, all your attachment, depression, neediness, anger, bitterness, grudges, jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. So the nectar coming down, pushing down all the negativity of the body, the nectar flowing up, pushing up all the negativities of the speech, and then the light coming and just kind of blasting away all of those delusions of the mind. So in this way, it's happening all at the same time, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your mind. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anarakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe Vajrasattva Samayam Nupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Trida Mebowa Situkaya Mebowa Sipokaya Mebowa Anurakta Mebowa Sawasidi Mempi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. Now we come to the power of resolve. This is the fourth and final step in this process of purification. It's really crucial because, we can do all the other bits of this purification, but if we don't decide that we actually want to refrain from harming, nothing's really going to happen. So we, first of all, rejoice in your efforts for coming along, and then think about something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. And do keep it simple. Try not to make it a big thing. Because then we can just have this habit of reminding ourselves, oh, don't speak to yourself don't speak to yourself like that. Or, oh, here comes the critical thought again. Does that serve me? Maybe not. And then maybe you want to say something, or you want to gossip about someone or something. Maybe just have a little bubble in your mind. Oops, maybe I don't want to say that. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So let's just think a little bit about emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So we can just dedicate all the merit, the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings and think, may all the virtuous karma I have created from doing this Vajrasattva practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So now we'll do our chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift discovery of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. The Dharma conch emitting piercing sound, the Dharma gong with lasting resonance, arriving at unbounded liberation. He is the Dharma drum in all directions. without a form, with handsome form, supreme, replete with forms diverse, comprised of mind, with splendor shining through his every form, with all reflections under his control, invincible, renowned as Lord Supreme, the Lord Supreme who rules the threefold world, abiding on the noble's lofty path, great source of flourishing, the Dharma's crown. Everybody, let's strongly wish for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to live long. He's going to be 90 this year. And then think of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's new little person being found very soon, and then of all your own individual teachers to live long. All right, everybody, lots of love. Good night, good morning, good day, wherever you are, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks, everyone.